Happening now, educators are revisiting their security protocols following a break-in at Jamestown High School. And the latest from the American Legion officials on the two individuals that dressed up in blackface in Frewsburg. Plus, why locals tapped the brakes on a speed limit change.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, educators are revisiting their security protocols after a malfunctioning door allowed two youngsters to break into Jamestown High School over the weekend. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom today with more from school leaders about how they plan to address this. Bronson?
Justin, these two students were from outside the school district. While the two did not steal anything noteworthy, it appeared the pair gained entry for no more than bragging rights. Jamestown Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Kevin Whitaker tells us that the school is now stepping up their security measures.
We have some security systems that picked up some activity, and we found out that we had a couple of people inside the building who had made some extraordinary effort attempts to get into the building. And they were there for a relatively short period of time, and that transpired a couple more times.
Currently, the district security patrols every day to make sure no one can gain unauthorized entry to the buildings.
What we ended up determining was that there was a means of entry that was caused by a specific mechanical issue, and that mechanical issue has been addressed and resolved. And so the building is secure once again.
Since then, the district has revised their procedure, now requiring a physical check of doors.
It is unfortunate that it happened, and I think what it helped us see was that it's very important to physically try to get in during the inspection and perimeter walk that happens on an everyday basis.
Going forward, the superintendent is working with city officials to prevent future incidents and engage with the community. This news is on the heels of bullying troubles district-wide.
Today, I'm going to be meeting with our mayor and our police chief, and we're going to be talking a little bit about some community interventions that we can identify, an early identification in whether it's conflicts or struggles or other issues, and see if we can't intervene in those sorts of community-related issues so that we can tamp down any tension around those things or any pressure around those things before they even get to kids and get to a school situation.
The two accused are minors, so the school district cannot go into detail about their investigation. However, the superintendent assures us that at no time was anyone in danger. Reporting live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much. Well, the two people who dressed up in blackface as their Halloween costume while attending parties over the weekend in Frewsburg have resigned their membership from the Sons of the American Legion. The American Legion Department of New York tells us they've launched an investigation into the matter. Two people who dressed as lawn jockey statues attended parties at the Carol Rodden Gun Club and Frewsburg American Legion. Photos from the events have since gone viral, yielding outrage from many in the community. Since then, the American Legion Department of New York demanded the resignation of Post 556 Commander James Rossing. Officials said Rossing, who resigned, is no longer a member of their organization. Furthermore, state Legion leaders said the two individuals pictured, who were not specifically American Legion veteran members, but rather with the Sons of the American Legion group, resigned today. According to Farrah State University, over the decades, the prevalence of black versions of the lawn jockey statue touted exaggerated features that was often symbolic of racism and racist imagery. A 19-year-old Sherman man faces charges after he was found with weapons and drugs during a mental health evaluation at UPMC Chautauqua Hospital in Jamestown. The Jamestown Police Department says Marcus DeWeiler was at the hospital Monday for a mental health check. During a search of his person, police said he was in possession of a loaded pistol, sawed-off shotgun, meth, fentanyl, pills, scales, and baggies consistent with drug packaging. After he was treated at the hospital, officers said Dweiler was formally arrested. He now faces several charges, including criminal possession of a controlled substance and weapon. And a U-Haul truck was stolen while locals were in the process of moving in the city of Jamestown this week. Officers with Jamestown Police responded to a Prospect Street residence Monday where renters reported the truck stolen as they were loading it up. After getting tips from the community, the truck was spotted in the town of Busti where it apparently crashed through a fence before coming to a rest in a field near South Avenue. Employees of a nearby resource center property advised police that the driver was laying in the grass and had already been taken to the hospital for evaluation. Well, after investigating at the hospital, police charged 39-year-old Timothy Warrior with grand larceny and criminal mischief. Well, the Village of Fredonia board has tapped the brakes on a law that would have lowered the speed limit of a popular thoroughfare. A local law was proposed to lower the speed limit of sections of Route 20 in the village. Specifically, parts of East Main Street would be lowered to 30 miles an hour, with the school zone marked at 20. However, Mayor Doug Exler, speaking during a public hearing on the matter, recommended pausing a vote on the resolution due to a holdup from the New York State Department of Transportation. Specifically, the DOT plans to conduct a traffic study sometime next spring.
Might not happen within the 62 days that we have to hold a vote on it. So it's up to the board. I'd like to have you consider adjourning the meeting until we have a solid answer from the DOT after their traffic study, whether or not they will allow us to change our village code to lower the speed limits.
Well, the Board of Trustees ultimately voted to table this vote until the DOT can conduct their traffic study. We'll, of course, continue to follow this and bring you more when we can. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. It's shaping up to be a pretty nice day out there. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us with that. Hello, Dakota.
Hello, Justin, and happy Wednesday, everybody. It's hump day if you're still into that kind of old joke from a couple of years ago, but it's still kind of funny, though. We have some low-lying fog you can see here from the Warren City Bank Skycam, and this fog is continuing across the southern tier, and we are going to continue to see that through the afternoon. You can kind of see some of that fog on the satellite and radar composite, along with some of the clouds at times. So it's an all-in-all nice day. And Bronson, come over here real quick. Come over here real quick. I know we're running out of time, but come over here. Take a look at the socks he's wearing. Can you get your socks up to camera view? Yeah, it says hump day. But anyway, 57-48 is where we're at the day. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, a little bit of fog, still warmer, 59-65. I'll have the ultimate satellite solution 7-day in just a few minutes. Justin, back to you.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Was that planned or just spur of the moment?
No,
okay. Thank you. As we continue, as the applications open for HEAP, we're taking a look at the impact of this program and what it can mean for you and your neighbors. And later, with less than a week until the election, we're breaking down how to properly mail in your ballot. Plus, we might take a closer look at Bronson's socks when we come back.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than WNY Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on WNY Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. WNY Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Criminal charges have been lodged in connection with a robbery here in the city of Jamestown. Jamestown police report this break-in happened back on Sunday at an address downtown. Following an investigation into the incident, 24-year-old Angel Rosas was charged with burglary and criminal possession of a weapon. It's alleged that he entered an apartment where he brandished a knife and threatened a victim with it. He was later located on scene and taken into custody. Well, applications are now open for New York's Home Energy Assistance Program. State Capitol correspondent Elise Klein spoke to the Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance about the impact that this program will have and what New Yorkers need to know about the application process.
Low-income New York families who need help paying their heating bills can start applying for the Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP. This year, because of higher heating costs, the value of these benefits increased. Eligible households can receive up to $976 in the heat assistance benefits. Commissioner of the Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance, Daniel W. Tietz, said with New York's cold winters, it's important these benefits be available.
And we know that low-income households struggle to heat their homes. Without this resource, many would find it impossible.
People can submit applications for assistance either in person at their local Department of Social Services or apply online. Those who are on public assistance or get Social Security benefits are automatically eligible for HEAP assistance. And for others, eligibility is based on income and household size. If an applicant qualifies, they will be notified within 30 days of the received application. This year, the benefits increased 33% for households that heat with oil, kerosene, or propane, 21% for households that heat with wood, wood pellets, or coal, and 14% for households that heat with electricity or natural gas. Tietz said this increase will be significant for New Yorkers this winter.
And so we don't want to see folks out in the cold or at risk of homelessness because they can't afford their bills.
In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. So far, more than 1.4 million Pennsylvanians have requested a mail-in or absentee ballot, with over 900,000 already returned. Voters who requested a ballot will receive an envelope in the mail, which contains 4 materials: your ballot, a white return envelope, a yellow inner security envelope, and instructions to guide you. After using a black pen or marker to fill in your ovals next to the candidate of your choice, be sure to place the completed ballot inside of the yellow security envelope and then seal it. Next, you place the envelope into a white return envelope, which is pre-addressed for your county's election office. Then, and most importantly, voters will need to provide a handwritten signature and date under the voter declaration. That's on the back of the envelope. State officials encouraged voters who have not yet returned their mail ballot to do so in person at their county elections office or by using a drop box if your county offers one. Well, we have an update on the Erie Zoo and their plan to regain accreditation after they lost it in 2021. Within the past 2 weeks, the zoo received 2 different grants to help with this effort. They received $3 million last week from the state to build the new veterinarian center, and just yesterday, $250,000 to help modernize different zoo areas. The state also just presented them with a $250,000 check to help with building a family restroom, something that the zoo has really never had, and an area of other restrooms. The money will also be used to help reconstruct a viewing area for the African wild dogs. These are two things the zoo is doing to help regain this accreditation which they lost. While these steps are necessary, the zoo also completed an economic impact study. They're working with Pathways Coach and the AZA to create a strategic plan to help get that accreditation back. Officials say they still have a few things to do.
Yeah, we really needed to update our vet facilities. It was one of the things we took a hit on. We didn't take a hit on animal care, but the AZA every year they definitely come up with more stricter standards, which is fine, and we want to meet those standards. So a new vet facility was definitely needed. Separate areas for necropsy, for quarantine, and for the regular diagnostic work that we do.
Now, at this time, the Erie Zoo did not give us a timeline of when they will be reapplying for their accreditation. Well, coming up next, a check of some national headlines, including in the Parkland shooter case with sentencing now underway. And later, we're taking a look at how the Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates once again. But first, when we return, Dakota has a full look at our weather forecast. Stay right there. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for two great causes, Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense weather.
Welcome back, everybody. All I've got is just plain White Sox down there. But anyway, yeah, Bronson left for the day, so you don't get to see his hump socks anymore. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. He had to go get some lunch. So anyway, Justin took this picture this morning as he was coming into work this morning of the trees and the lights here in downtown Jamestown getting ready for the holiday. So if you have any pictures of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense weather page on Facebook, and use the hashtag MyLocalWX. It is a fantastic Wednesday out there. Take a look at this. Lots of sunshine, blue skies, 52 as of noon hour right now with a variable wind of 3. We still do have some light fog out there, so the visibility at the airport is down to 7 miles. But again, your visibility total is going to vary depending on where you are. But that fog is ultimately going to lift and burn off as we go through the afternoon hours. Now we have the Section 6 semifinals coming up this Friday at Strider Field. Jamestown vying for that final spot for Section 6. They are taking waiting on Kenmore West. Friday night tickets are $7. No sale at the door. You have to go online to order the tickets. But of course, you know, there's a post up on the Jamestown Public Schools Facebook page that tells you how to get the tickets. So 61 at 7 o'clock, 59 down at halftime, 57 by the fourth quarter on Friday. So no weather hassles, partly to mostly cloudy. You won't need a sweater either. Those are mild temperatures for this time of the year. Also coming up this weekend is daylight savings time. We go back to standard time. So the new sunrise on Sunday morning is actually going to be, if it will come up, the new sunrise will be, there it is, 6:56 in the morning, and our new sunset is 5:05. So the sunset and the day is getting shorter, and we are going to continue to lose daylight until the winter solstice. And also make sure you check and replace the batteries in your smoke detector and your NOAA weather radio. Much like a smoke detector, you need a weather radio. All right, so the next thing we're keeping an eye on is warmer air. We've been talking about this. This is the 8 to 14 day temp outlook, and pretty much we are going to be talking about much warmer air for pretty much now until pretty much mid-November. Beautiful high pressure sitting over the region right now. That is leading us with some fantastic weather and keeping all this at bay. And you're going to see on Future Scan here, we've got really no weather hassles to contend with over the next couple of days. So here's the newest run. Notice the clouds and the fog going away by the afternoon hours. By the end of the day, partly to mostly sunny. Fog will start to redevelop again overnight, but otherwise mainly clear. So good for the stargazers, but watch for the fog by tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow turns into a fantastic day, wall-to-wall sunshine, maybe a few high clouds, and then we'll keep it going into Friday with just a few clouds at times. So the day planner for tomorrow, we start around 40, 60 at noon, 64 at 5 o'clock. Now the next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So we're going to keep this dry stretch of weather going until the first half of the weekend. We do bring a few scattered rain showers in on Sunday, but temperatures, Justin, remain above average through next week.
Yeah, certainly a beautiful day for so many outdoor activities. And I'm glad to see that we're going to be having the fall back this Sunday, because I came in this morning a little after 7 o'clock, and it's kind of sad not to have the sunrise when you're driving in. And then sometimes when you're driving home, too, after long days of work. Yeah, Dakota, thank you. Let's get some headlines from around the nation. And CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart, they have tentatively agreed to pay at least $12 billion settling an opioid lawsuit. That's according to Bloomberg. The lawsuits were brought by state and local governments. They allege the retailers mishandled prescriptions of opioid painkillers. More than 3,000 lawsuits have been filed against pharmacies, opioid manufacturers, and distributors, accusing them of downplaying the addiction risks of opioids and also failing to stop the pills from being illegally sold. Data shows the opioid crisis has claimed more than 500,000 lives over the past 2 decades, 80,000 of them in 2021 alone. Well, the Parkland school shooter's 2-day sentencing hearing began with statements from families who lost loved ones. Last month, the jury recommended Nicholas Cruz be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Jen Sullivan looks at an emotional day in court and what we can expect Wednesday.
I feel betrayed by our justice system.
The 2-day sentencing hearing for the Parkland, Florida school shooter began Tuesday with highly emotional statements from grieving families who lost loved ones and anguished survivors.
No one that's up here right now can imagine what it's like to have a little sister murdered.
Megan Petty's 14-year-old little sister Elena was one of the 17 victims shot and killed at Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14, 2018. Tuesday marked the first time families were able to speak freely without being vetted by lawyers and directly to the shooter in open court.
He was stolen from us by an unimaginable act that you planned and executed. You stole him from us.
Nicholas Cruz pleaded guilty to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder. After a months-long trial, the jury last month recommended Cruz be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His defense attorneys argued he was disturbed and mentally ill. But many parents wanted to see Cruz get the death penalty and expressed their deep concerns to the judge.
Knowing he gets to live out the rest of his natural life, something Elena doesn't get to do, because of his disgusting and violent actions.
Cruz will be formally sentenced Wednesday. The judge cannot change the sentencing outcome. The hearing was simply a chance for families to open up and hopefully find closure.
There's nothing more important to my family than receiving justice for Alex.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates yet again today by another 3/4 of a percentage point. This would be the fourth straight rate hike of that amount. The decision comes as inflation levels continue to plague the U.S. economy, pushing the cost to borrow money up even further. Mortgage rates hit an almost 20-year high. The inflation is triggering concerns of a possible recession. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell acknowledged those concerns, but says that inflation would be a greater economic suffering than a recession would. And the Fed isn't done yet. It's likely to enact another 0.5% rate hike come December. Well, coming up next, November marks National Diabetes Month. We're taking a look at what healthcare experts have to say when it comes to self-care.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
No. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Around 37 million Americans have diabetes. The CDC says about 1 in 5 people don't even know they have it, and the disease can lead to some pretty serious health problems. In honor of National Diabetes Month, Mandy Gaither is taking a closer look at what health experts have to say about self-care in today's Health Minute.
It's a disease that can strike at any age. Diabetes, which happens when a person's blood sugar is too high, is a serious health threat.
It can affect the eyes and the kidney and the heart, and is actually linked to certain types of cancer.
Managing the disease and preventing further complications isn't easy. That's why the National Institute of Diabetes, Digestive, and Kidney Diseases says it takes teamwork between a patient and their doctors. Dr. Griffin Rogers says to remember the ABCs. A stands for A1C, a blood test that measures average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months.
And for most people with diabetes, we aim to keep that at about 7%.
B is for blood pressure. The CDC says most people with diabetes have high blood pressure. Roger says managing it is critical.
So for most people with diabetes, keeping their blood pressure numbers less than 140/90 is a goal.
C is for cholesterol. Lifestyle changes like diet and exercise can help lower it, so can medicines like statins. Finally, S for not smoking.
Smoking and diabetes narrow the blood vessels and lead to the vascular damage that can cause problems in the kidneys and the eyes and the heart.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, Dakota, Dr. Rogers went on to say that developing a diabetes care plan and sticking to it can help someone with the disease live a healthy life. He says early management is key to preventing the progression of it. So many people deal with it on a daily basis, no matter really what type of diabetes you are. And at the end of the day, getting checked for that and for other diseases is so important. And I think that's the one silver lining maybe to having to go through the pandemic is the fact that we could be a little more conscious about our health and take better care of ourselves.
Well, I mean, it runs in my family, diabetes.
Yeah.
Does. And, my dad had it for a long time, and my mom has it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's any sort of family history of diabetes.
Right.
If you are at a higher risk because
I would imagine
because it runs in the family. Now, I will say I've had a habit, and I've gotten better at this over the years. Whenever I used to eat French fries, I used to dump salt like this.
Right. You
a
pull
ton of
back a
salt.
little bit
But now, as I've gotten older, I've started not doing that as much,
Right.
and I'm trying to watch my salt intake and just all
But
of that.
too little of something can be bad too. So
Right.
It's got to be a perfect
There has to be a
balance.
balance there.
Well, that is it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day. We'll see you back in